What a cracking spot.
Wasn't it? We have just spent 4 days just at this most gorgeous campsite. There's not many that I hate leaving, but I've got to tell you, this one we booked in at Broken Hill. I think if we hadn't booked anything, we might have just stayed another day. Like, the weather was just sensational. The camp was great.
Yes.
The ambience, the whole lock, stock and barrel. Because last night, when we did that cruise,
Yes.
that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And it just topped off those 4 days, I thought.
And we got a little bit of cloud last night, which just made that sunset that much better.
That much better, yeah.
Probably one of our best camps.
I would say so. You know, if you had to, sort of, someone says where is one of your best favourite campsites, that's going to have to be right up there. Like,
yes.
When we camped on the Pentecost River 12 months ago, 18 months ago, when it was, that was great. Like, that was the pinnacle as far as I was concerned. It was just gold. And this is right up there with it. So today, what are we doing today?
We're off to Broken Hill, as you've just said. We need to restock, and we've never been to Broken Hill, so there's lots to see and do, hopefully.
There is. So we've given ourselves, hopefully, in a couple of days,
yes,
full days to have a look around. Time permits, I wouldn't mind going up to Silverton, have a look at the Mad Max Museum.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That would be good.
That's the control for the Lake Nindi.
Oh, yes.
The lakes. Yeah. So stay tuned. That should be interesting. So, we're newbies to Broken Hill. We have no idea.
See what the next couple of days are.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, we'll soldier on and catch you guys a little later in the day. Cheers.
Bye.
We arrived into Broken Hill, and wasting no time we headed up to the Broken Hill Miners Memorial to start to soak in some of the history and heritage of this area. Nestled in the heart of the Australian outback, Broken Hill is a town like no other. Known as the Silver City, it's rich in mining history. This remote outpost has evolved into a vibrant hub of culture, creativity and rugged natural beauty. With a population of just over 17,000, it's a place where the vast open skies meet the red earth and where the past and present exist in harmony. For over a century, Broken Hill has been synonymous with mining, particularly silver, lead and zinc. The town's history is deeply rooted in the discovery of these precious minerals in the 1880s, shaping its growth and identity. Today, remnants of that mining heritage can still be found in the iconic mine shafts, historic architecture and the stories that echo through the streets.
Here I am, overlooking the township of Broken Hill. We're up on the hill up here at the line of the lode, a monument for all those miners that never made it home. So tonight I'm having ginger prawn dumplings with coconut soup. So let's see, and I've not done this before, so let's see how we go. I need some coconut cream, and I use this coconut milk powder, which makes coconut cream. It's a lot lighter than carrying a can around. So now I'm making it up to 200 mils, which gives me coconut cream. Now I need 700 mils of chicken stock, some chicken stock cubes here. Two cloves of garlic, so 2 good squirts. 1 stalk of lemongrass. 1 tablespoon of ginger. And 1 long red chilli. I'm cheating.
Whoa!
2 lime leaves, kaffir lime leaves.
And what do you need to do with those, Liz?
I'm just going to tear them because we'll take them out later. They're just for flavouring. 1 shallot, but I don't have that, so I'm just going to use a spring onion. Two teaspoons of sugar, or honey, but I don't have honey, so I'm using sugar.
Next challenge is Liz opening this fish sauce. We could be a while. We'll be back in a few minutes.
5 minutes later.
Right. Oh no, I've still got to open it yet. No. Oh, there's one of them seal things on
It's okay, look away now.
Man, this isn't gonna end well.
Oh, I'm not even looking at this.
Still don't. Right, you open it.
It's the hinge. It's got a child safe just looking at.
I thought it did. 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, because we know with anything like this Asian you need to have the sweet sour sort of mix going. Now I'm going to turn it on and get all those beautiful flavours mixing together. And then we just leave it alone to simmer. They're Mr. Chen's ginger prawn dumplings. So now I'm going to simmer them for at least 8 minutes. Nice and hot. Dumplings will be a bit hot yet, so I'm going to wait for them to cool down. Yummy.
For a glimpse into what life was like for the early miners in and around Broken Hill, we headed out to the historic Daydream mine near Silverton. You can feel the history come alive as you drive along the road through the Appleton Valley and start thinking, however, did they find this mine?
On gate duties again, and he's just trying to drive off. He's a shocker, isn't he?
The first sign is the view of the magnificent smelter built by the Daydream Mining Association. This was also used by Broken Hill. The old township once had a population of around 500 people.
We're at Daydream Mine doing an underground mine tour, 20 kilometres out of Broken Hill.
Where'd they go? The first place they went to? The pub. waiting for the girls to come in from school.
After a briefing and selecting our hats, we descend deep into the mine and got to see the tunnels and voids created by the miners and travel through the mine to see the working conditions of those miners from long ago. Back then, a miner's life consisted of 12-hour days, 6 days a week.
This is where the miners slept. This was their house. Small, cramped.
There's an old 100-ton hole. They drill them with and when you're cutting it with a chainsaw blade, I know how many chainsaw blades Jerry went when he was cutting it, but you only get about 5 cuts out of a brand new blade if it's a normal size mould. But that one there, I reckon he might have went through 2 blades.
Going down. You can do it? All right.
I'm going to put him on my back.
Can't you?
Duck your head.
Miners worked by candlelight, which were held in holders known as spiders. Mining methods were mostly by hammer and tapping holes, then firing them with charges. The miners stayed in the tunnels during the firings, and boys of around 14 to 15 would hand pick the ore after the firings and bag it. It's not hard to understand why most miners suffered failing eyesight and respiratory diseases.
That piece is very dangerous.
It's slippery, isn't it?
I've seen them working.
Sure.
We enjoyed scones and coffee after the tour and had a great chat with fellow travellers. Then it was in the car and we headed off to the town of Silverton. First stop has to be the Mad Max Museum. Here, all types of memorabilia relating to the movies that were filmed in the area are gathered. There are some limitations on photography which kind of makes it better because you really need to come here and see it for yourself. Next was a stop at the local art gallery. This is the first art gallery where we've been encouraged to take photos. I must say I was still a little bit uncomfortable, so only took a couple. Then on to the pub. We had a couple of reasons to be there. A, we wanted lunch, but also we wanted our Outback Pubs book signed. Both ended up with very positive responses.
This is the reservoir for Broken Hill, and John could put the name down because I'm not even going to try and pronounce it.
Well, here we are at the stunning Umburka Reservoir, a hidden gem in outback New South Wales. Located just outside of Silverton, this historic reservoir has been a vital water source, serving as a lifeline for the surrounding communities. It was started in 1911 and took around 4 years to complete. It was eventually completed and commissioned to supply water to Silver City in 1915. Today, it is more than just a reservoir. It's a serene escape into nature. You can only marvel at the peaceful waters, framed by rugged landscapes and the vibrant colours of the outback. You can enjoy a picnic with friends or simply soak in the tranquility of this unique setting.
That was the Mundi Plains.
Well, that's a little camp up at Broken Hill. The caravan park. It's actually backed onto the cemetery, which we're going to go and have a look at today. It's one of the largest cemeteries in Australia, believe it or not. Morning, Liz.
Morning, John.
So today we've ditched the car and we're on these. And as you can hear, probably not a good idea. There's 4 billion dogs in Broken Hill and they're all barking at the moment. So we're actually outside one of the... We did get told yesterday how many pubs there used to be. There was something like 72 pubs or something.
8 clubs.
And 8 clubs that used to be in Broken Hill. And this is one of the old ones. And this one is called the Gasworks Hotel. Just a short walk from the caravan park. So yeah, so we're on Shanks's today. We're going to have a bit of a wander around town. We had the day yesterday out and about in the car and out to Silverton and the mine. So today was all about having a look around the town, and probably the best way to do it is on foot. But there's a few things that are just out of town, so we'll probably do this and then we'll maybe after lunch we'll go for a drive and have a look at those. So it depends on how we feel. Cool. All right, well we'll keep venturing on. And this one here is the old railway town post office. It's been converted into a house. Survival in Broken Hill in the early days of mining was difficult. Trees were needed for buildings, mine stops and fuel for homes and smelters. By 1900, people had to travel as far as Menindee, over 100 kilometres away, to find trees to harvest, and water was scarce. Through this time, Broken Hill had been laid bare. The dust blew unimpeded, forming dunes that crept up to the front doors and threatened to engulf the city. There was nothing to stop the leaded dust from blowing into people's homes. Then along comes Albert Morris. The son of a miner, he moved to Broken Hill in the late 1800s. As a boy, he developed an interest in botany, studying and describing local plants. He saw the growing drought, wind and salt-tolerant plants as a way of saving Broken Hill from these fierce dust storms that threatened the city and the mines. So the greatest gift that Albert made to Broken Hill is still the regeneration area around the city. In spite of ridicule and hostility at the time, he preached that if the areas were fenced from rabbits and goats, the native seeds would germinate and provide a barrier between the blowing dust and the city. Guess what? He was right.
The main street. And you have a look at all these old buildings.
This Kintore shaft is typical of the early shafts used in Broken Hill. The shafts eventually proved inadequate to handle the massive Broken Hill ore body. Sinking of much larger rectangular and circular shafts started in the 1920s, and concrete and steel replaced timber as a lining after 1930. There you go, a walk around Broken Hill. That was pretty cool. We ended up catching up with the tail end of the actual walk that they do from the tourist centre. So we only missed a little bit, but it was very interesting. For an idea on how Broken Hill and all it produced from the mines connected to the wider world, we headed to the Sulphide Street Railway and Historic Museum. This is an incredible story. Broken Hill was founded in 1883, and by 1887 there was a need for some sort of transport to get the ore to port. A group of businessmen got together to form Silverton Tramway Company. The ore was transported by tramway where it would meet up with the South Australian Rail, then eventually down to Port Pirie to the smelter. But the whole town depended on it. From building supplies to beer were delivered every day from Adelaide. Not only important to get the ore to the port, but the goods to Broken Hill. It stopped running in 1870, but lives on in this fascinating museum, housed in the city's original 1905 station. Here you can hop aboard old trains, discover all sorts of memorabilia that will give you an insight into how the tramway system operated for nearly 100 years, as it transported loads of silver, lead and zinc out of town, destined for ports all over the world. Well, this looks pretty complicated, but I guess at the end of the day it wasn't that hard. All the red levers, the levers with all the red things on them, probably stop. And the levers with the green things on them are probably go. Toot toot. You idiot. Wow, look at these carriages. All those years ago, these things carted the men and the women from Broken Hill through to Adelaide to head off to World War I. Quite surreal, really, when you think about it. Good on you for looking after it and keeping it in as good a condition as what it is. It's actually it's remarkable inside how well it's been looked after and the upkeep of it. Well, after our few days at Broken Hill, we've actually come back to Menindee because the next part of our trip is to follow the Darling River. And obviously to do that we had to come back to Menindee. Now we initially were going to do the western side of the river. There's a road runs either side of the Darling River, but the west one's still closed. Funny, the website says that it proceed with caution, but there is actually a sign, the electronic sign at the start of it, just out of Menindee, says that it's closed. So I guess we can't ignore that sign. So we come over the river and we're heading up the eastern side. So this should be interesting. So the destination tonight is Wilcania. We're going to pull up there tonight. But yeah, this is true outback. So we've just stopped, had a bit of lunch, and we're going to head further north. Eastern side of the Darling River towards Wilcania, we're now starting to see some small sand dunes. They're running across the road basically, aren't they?
Yeah.
So didn't quite think that we'd see any yet, but we are, which is good. Just slightly different terrain. It's been quite flat, a lot of salt bush. Seen emus and some kangaroos, goats,
sheep,
and a few sheep. But so whilst we're off the boring bitumen. This is quite pretty in its own right.
Most definitely.
Our camp for tonight is at a farm stay / caravan park called Warrawong on the Darling. We did have to contend with a fair bit of wind when we first arrived, but we managed it. Located on the banks of the Darling River, the property is on 1,700 acres. It has 60 large grassy powered and unlimited non-powered sites, with 21 fully equipped self-contained cabins. There is an abundance of wildlife with unspoilt tranquility, and it is just 3 kilometres out of Wilcania. There is a large lagoon which invites a variety of bird life, and you can even enjoy a communal campfire that is lit each night. We would use this as a base for the next couple of days.